Alrighty, so again, I have both of the PDFs open of the two articles that are referenced throughout this activity, just so that way we can quickly access them if needed. So let's look here at our question. Help students identify the mistake or mistakes made in their quote. Class was both economic and cultural and encompassed income, occupation, education, family, structure, sexual behavior, politics, and leisure activities. This quote came from a webpage which continues to explain how the social class changed over time. So let's look at each of these mistakes or potential mistakes and see what the student did or did not do. All right, student did not introduce the quote. Yeah, student did not introduce the quote in this example. So just to clarify, that first sentence is the quote. So yeah, they did not introduce it. This is another example where the quote would be standing alone, and we don't want to do that. So this should have a check mark next to it, as the student did make this mistake. Next, student did not provide the author's last name nor article title in his or her citation. So student did make this mistake. So you use an author's last name as long as there is an author present. If there is no author, then that quote, article title, end quote, would be what you put in parentheses. So yes, go ahead and check that because that is a mistake that student made. And then this came from this Victorian era site here. And this, the only reason I know this is because I made this activity. You would not have known that unless you went through and read word for word. Anyways, so if they were going to cite from this here, it would have been parentheses, quotation mark, Victorian era, end quote, parentheses, period. Okay, so that's what that would look like if they had included it. Okay. Student did not provide did not provide page numbers in his or her citation. Student did not do this. However, that is a web page, so you do not include page numbers. So this is not something you should have checked because it is not a mistake made. Granted, the student didn't even cite their source, but they did not provide the page number or page numbers. But in this case, that is not a mistake because it's a web page, not a journal, not a book, so on and so forth. Student did not provide the date of the article. You should include the date of the article within the body of the essay. So the date is not included. However, that's not common for MLA citations. So it's not a mistake made, so that checkbox should not be checked. Student did not use quotation marks in order to show when the quote started and ended. So yeah, there are no quotation marks here. So you should have a check mark next to this, as student did make this mistake. If they didn't have that second sentence there that says this quote came from, chances are we wouldn't have known that that was a quote anyways. So make sure that you always include those quotation marks. So let's take a look-see back over the mistakes that student made. 1, student did not introduce the quote. So there should be a check mark next to that box. Student did not provide the author's last name nor article title in his or her citation. So there should be a check mark next to this. This is a mistake. Student did not provide page numbers in his or her citation. So student did not provide page numbers, but that's okay because this came from a web page. When we print out a web page, we don't include the page numbers. Student did not provide the date of the article. Student did not provide the date. However, this is not common MLA practice, so that is not a mistake made, and the box should not be checked. Student did not use quotation marks. So student did not do this. That is a mistake made, so there should be a check next to that box.